are the best NYC food trucks to visit in 2025. Trust me, I've tried hundreds over the years, and none have better food or vibes than these. Starting with the most famous hot dog in America at the Hot Dog King. Dan Rossi may be New York's most legendary street food vendor. This Vietnam vet has been arrested before and forced to sleep in his van just to maintain his hot dog cart's prime location in front of the Met Museum. And while his story is inspiring, people keep coming back because he makes a damn good hot dog. Grilled and not boiled like the majority of New York wieners, one all-beef Frank will run you $4, with a jumbo being $7. If you don't know what to get, order it New York style. Mustard, sauerkraut, and a little bit of onion. Sit on the steps of the Met and enjoy New York's most iconic street food. If you're planning on going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, save a little appetite for the Hot Dog King. Later on in this video, we'll share another hot dog vendor who has a lower profile but is equally worthy of a visit. Tony Dragon's Grill does what I consider practically impossible, combining hearty and amazing Mediterranean food with some healthy options. Run by Greek immigrant Antonio Dragonis since 1986 and a few blocks from Central Park, this is an Upper East Side local's best-kept secret. Hear me out. Their grilled chicken breast bowl combined with steak, if you want some extra protein, arugula, and rice pilaf is one of my favorite all-time New York street food lunches. The meat, so tender. I've had worse cuts of beef at steakhouses before, but the real gem on the menu isn't something I would consider healthy, but insanely delicious. Their Gypsy Burger with melty fresh mozzarella on brioche, mayo, and chili moni. This has got to be one of New York's top burgers from a food truck and deserves to be on more burger lists. The premium meat and their chili moni is a killer combo. The spice notes had me loving life. You can't go wrong with a place that emphasizes fresh ingredients. Anytime you're in Central Park and want an amazing lunch option that will please everybody, find Tony Dragon's. And as a little bonus, if you need a gift, their vinaigrette salad dressing has been in our fridge for months and is absolutely incredible. Diso's Italian Sandwich Society is New York's only food truck dedicated to the Italian sandwich. You could probably guess that from the name, but while New York has plenty of delis specializing in hero stuff with cold cuts, this one is special. For one, just look at the names. It's like an entire crew of wise guys. Mickey Scars, Jimmy Gooch, Big Paulie. Mess with this joint and you'll be finding yourself at the bottom of the Hudson sleeping with the fishes. My favorite is the Big Paulie, brick oven rustic Italian bread, Parmesan cheese, fresh basil, homemade marinara, fresh mozzarella with breaded chicken cutlet. This thing hits. That perfect blend of bold New York-style Italian sandwich flavors. The chicken cutlet was tender, and the sauces and cheeses brought it all together. If you really want to have some fun, order any of the sandwiches Don Fanucci style, a secret menu item, and they'll supersize it to one of the biggest sandwiches in New York you can order at $28. But fair warning, it could feed 2, maybe even 3 people. I enjoyed all the sandwiches I tried there. I was really impressed by how fresh, doughy, and crunchy the Italian breads were. Prices start at $14 for a full hero and $11 for a half. Definitely cheaper than the more famous Italian delis in the city. Just a note, you need to check their website as they change their location daily, and they have 2 different trucks, so if you're in Midtown, you will always be near one. Birria-Landia. From an unknown to one of the best taco trucks in the whole city, Birria-Landia has exploded in the last 5 years. I'd call this the best taco in New York if you order their legendary namesake birria tacos with consomme. We were one of the first social media channels to cover them in 2019 after they opened, thanks to my food insider and friend Greg. They've since been recognized by the New York Times and many others. They now have 5 different trucks in NYC with 2 in Manhattan alone. Your order is simple, a trio of the birria tacos with a consomme in a separate cup. You're essentially dipping the taco in its own juices, and the result, pure happiness. Even my wife from Mexico was impressed by them, and because they have so many trucks now, you won't have crazy waits anymore. The New York Mexican food scene has really come into its own lately. We've got a few more Mexican trucks coming up later on in the video. Adele's across the street from Radio City Music Hall is a very controversial pick, a victim of their own success. Many brave hour-plus waits to try their famed halal platters. My personal favorite is the combo, which has chicken and lamb gyro over spicy rice, although you can tone down the heat in the rice if you want. With veggies and french fries, comes out to around $12, and you get your money money's worth. This could easily feed 2 people with how generous they are. The white sauce, unreal, the best I've had in the city. The meat, mildly spicy and seasoned just right. The flavors blend so well with the rice, creating a tasty experience that has been the talk of Instagram and TikTok for years. I rarely will tell you that a cart where you have to wait 30 minutes to an hour is worth it, but if you have the time to budget for it, try what could be New York's best halal street food at least once. We do have another halal truck on this video where the wait time won't be bad at all, and I am still shocked they haven't opened more than one truck with their popularity, but they know what works and keep it that way. A little insider tip, make sure to take some extra sauce to keep on the side for when you want to eat it later at your hotel or apartment. Today's video is sponsored by Klook, and if you love eating your way through New York, then Klook is your spot for booking food tours. Klook is an experiences booking platform with thousands of destinations around the world. If you're visiting NYC, it's so easy to use. Just open the app and search the hundreds of options in this city alone. And it doesn't matter where you're from because there's over a dozen languages and 40 currencies on the app. I just took their Brooklyn Neighborhood Eats walking food tour, and as a local guide myself, I was even impressed at the spots we visited. The tour guide was friendly, and the food was delicious. Everything from bagels to Lebanese food, dessert, and so much more. We also got to walk and explore some of the most beautiful streets in Brooklyn, and I left feeling pretty full. Klook is running an amazing end-of-year sale with 20% off Japan tours and experiences. Book early for Japan 2025. Sign up for Klook today using the link below. Use my creator code JOHNBARR to book your trip with a special discount. Download the Klook app on your phone. It only takes a minute, and you can start booking your next travel destination today. The Queens Night Market is a bit of cheating because it's not just one food truck, but an entire outdoor food market made up of many vendors from around Queens. It's like eating around the world. The market is sponsored, so the prices are capped at $5 or $6, meaning this is one of the most accessible ways for anybody to try some of the best food in New York. Some of our favorites were the Bafana sandwich from Joey Nata's, a Portuguese roll with tender strips of pork marinated in a beer and wine sauce. Total damage just $6. Or a keema palata from Burmese Bites, which are like Burmese quesadillas with minced chicken. Better yet, the Sega wet plates from the Ethiopian style, a slow-cooked beef simmered in Berber with veggie sides. Or try something impossible to find elsewhere in New York, like the cassava leaves with moringa leaf rice from Sierra Leone. Save some room for dessert at Moon Cakes, an Indonesian specialty. Yes, think of this like packing all the cultures of the world into one insanely delicious market. This place is so distinctly New York. The vendors are awesome, and they have live music and plenty of space for families to spread out. I found Petey's breakfast cart when we were shooting a breakfast food video, and this guy really impressed me. His menu is bare bones, coffee, pastries, and donuts. This is how locals do it in the morning when they're in a rush. But what sets him apart is his personality. He keeps it real. In fact, he's become a bit of a social media star. Check out his Instagram for an idea. Born and bred in the city, Petey's a fun character to visit and have a conversation with. I recommend you try his Cadillac, which is a mix of coffee and hot chocolate. We could say a poor man's mocha, but I'm all about local experiences on this channel, and spending a few minutes with Petey in the morning definitely qualifies. Chinatown is New York's best neighborhood for tasty, cheap eats, and Jin Men BBQ just sprung up there recently with the cheapest food truck on today's video. They're Tianjin style from northern China with lamb, beef, and chicken kebab skewers starting at just $2 each. They even have some more exotic items available like chicken heart, beef aorta, and whole squid. The meat is tender and well seasoned. This is a steal. It's really hard to find protein this cheap, and if you're hopping around all of Chinatown's awesome noodles, dumpling, and dim sum shops and need a break from carb overload, this is your spot for one or maybe a dozen of those tasty skewers. Billy's hot dog stand may not have the international recognition of the hot dog king, but in his little corner of the Upper West Side, he's still royalty. Now, this isn't any fancy grill setup. It's old school boiled franks, also known as dirty water dogs. Billy chats up everyone that stops by, and he's been a viewer favorite for all the years we've covered him. At $3 each, and he just had to raise prices, it's still a great deal. Add some mustard, onion, and you're set. The hot dogs have a great snap, and there's something nostalgic about eating one of these, whether you grew up in New York or not. If you're roaming the northern part of Central Park, swing by and tell him I said hi. Frankie's Souvlaki is not even the most famous Greek food truck on this video, but it deserves just as much recognition. With 4 trucks in the city, we'll talk about the Astoria, Queens location because that's the Greek capital of New York. This food truck is an institution. They've been around for decades. You can smell the souvlaki down the block. Our pick are the lamb souvlaki skewers, which are quite generously portioned with a little lemon, salt, and oregano, super tender and tasty, the perfect food to walk and eat with. They have a truck at 86th and Lexington on the Upper East Side if you're visiting Manhattan. Royal Grill Halal is another food truck that gets overshadowed by some bigger names in Midtown. These guys are the real deal for Bengali Indian-style chicken and lamb over rice at a food truck. It doesn't get much better. Their chicken tikka plate is phenomenal. I just revisited them recently with my wife, ordered chicken tikka plates, and took it to the Bryant Park Winter Village. People were watching us jealous of our lunch, and for $10, I guarantee we had the cheapest item there. The plate is packed with spice, white sauce, hot sauce, green mint chutney, and a secret menu addition, a mango pickle. It's a lot of flavors and just the right kick. This may be the biggest sleeper pick on the entire video. If you want a quick grab-and-go chicken over rice meal that local New Yorkers get down with, try them. Back to Jackson Heights, Queens, we go for Las Quesadillas, which specializes in the classic Mexican dish, quesadillas. Bet you saw that coming. And you won't find too many trucks that have a dozen different varieties like they do. Try the tinga or mole. Everything is made fresh. The corn tortilla is so chewy and the flavor of the masa really stands out. These taste homemade. It's very light, the perfect snack, and if you want something a bit heartier, order a tlacoyo made fresh with masa, beans, lettuce, cream, and cheese. A great option for my vegetarians watching. This is pure comfort food in one of the most diverse parts of New York. New York has some of the best Bengali food in the US. There's so many vendors selling Fuska in this part of Queens that they've nicknamed it Fuska Alley. If you don't know what Fuska is, it's a crispy, orb-shaped snack made of a semolina shell filled with a variety of savory ingredients and a tangy tamarind chutney. Outside of Fuska, this truck has plenty of tasty alternatives like bel puri, a savory Bengali snack, fried on the bottom with chickpea spread on top, tamarind sauce, cucumber, a little bit of cilantro, chopped red onion. They look like a little Bengali tostada, and they're fantastic. Crunchy, spicy, and crispy, packed with an amazing balance of flavors, a textural masterpiece. Mango lassi is an interesting dessert you can add, sweet and savory mango, topped with some masala spice and mustard oil. It's delicious, and if you really want to be local, order a little chai tea to top it all off. The perfect palate cleanser with some underlying spice. Add them to any Queen Street food crawl. Tia Julia is an absolute gem in Elmhurst, Queens. Their sandwich is a thing of beauty. Called the semita, which refers to the round, eggy bread with sesame seeds, it's one of Mexico's answers to the New York hero sandwich. We ordered the breaded chicken, which comes with Oaxaca cheese, thin breaded chicken, chipotle, beans, and popolo leaf. For about $10, this thing is gigantic. The Milanese chicken packs a punch with the chipotle, and it's so creamy with avocado, cheese, and mayo. Easily one of the best sandwich food trucks in New York City. You can even add some Café de olla coffee with a little bit of cinnamon in it. It'll perk you up for the rest of the night, I guarantee it. Swing by, find a sandwich type you like, and enjoy an authentic semita at a truck where they have telenovelas playing off the TVs outside. King Souvlaki may be the most famous Greek gyro food truck in the entire city. Open since the 70s, and they've got 4 different trucks all over Queens. We stopped by the OG Astoria location, and my insider's local pick is half pork gyro, which is hand-stacked and very authentic, with the other half being pork souvlaki. It comes with tzatziki, real yogurt on the side. The souvlaki is tender and marinated, which soaks up a lot of the flavors. One of New York's best Greek food options, food truck or not. Those 15 food trucks weren't the only must-visit meals in NYC. Here is the best NYC pizza you need to eat in 2025. Don't miss it. Head here next.